Hey guys, Matthew Cobb with the Cobb Home Team. Super excited today. We're going to be talking about the NAF Cash program. I've got Sarah and Shay with S&S Mortgage here today. Ladies, can you tell us a little bit about the NAF Cash program?
Yeah, absolutely. So NAF Cash is going to be really good for this turning market we see coming up here. So we all know that interest rates are going down, which is great, and that is going to make it a bit harder for people to get under contracts. When interest rates go down, more people flood the market. We know that inventory is a little low right now. So what this program does is it makes your buyers all cash buyers. So they can kind of, beat out the other offers that are out there.
Right.
And another really good part of this program is if they have a contingent home to sell, it makes them write a non-contingent offer.
That's something that we're running into all the time.
Right.
People don't have the financial wherewithal to carry two mortgages at the same time.
That's correct.
From a negotiating standpoint on the real estate side, when writing offers that are contingent on the sale of your current home, you really do not have a lot of negotiating power. So tell me a little bit more about how the NAF Cash program works, kind of the nuts and bolts of it.
Yeah, so to piggyback off of Shay, so NAF is with New American Funding, but they started their own cash program to help alleviate some of these problems that we're seeing in the market. But to get down to it, you're going to have two transactions. So New American Funding will go buy your new dream home in all cash, and that gives us a chance for you to sell your home or get that transaction done quick. The cash transaction can get done pretty fast. And then you as the buyer will have just regular financing as you always would and buy that home back from NAF Cash.
Okay.
So the only caveat is there's a 1.5% fee. So let's say you purchase your home for $600,000, 1.5% of that is $9,000. So you will buy the home back from us for $609,000.
Okay.
And also other requirement is they do require a 5% earnest money up front to get you to have some skin in the game to make sure that you're serious. So that is a requirement, but then you can move in the day that that NAF Cash buys that home. From then you will have a rent back period. You will not have to pay that rent as you're living there, but it will be a part of the settlement statement on that transaction when you buy.
The transaction for your new home that you're buying?
Right, so that second transaction, when you as the buyer buy it back from NAF Cash, you'll see a line item that says what you owed in rent from that day one until we can close on that second transaction.
Okay.
But it's set up just like any other regular financing. If you're a 3% down buyer, then you'll have a 3% down conventional loan. It's just the same. It's just kind of the way it moves hands and gets you into that home quicker.
Right.
So that's kind of the nuts and bolts of it.
I mean, to speak to the 1.5% fee, which I'm assuming you're having people hear that and might be a little bit adverse to the program. With that being said, 1.5% when you're negotiating and writing contingent offers, honestly, that's not that much at all.
And
I mean,
it's
the average
financed, right? It's financed into the loan. So over a 30-year period, it's very small.
Yeah, it's going to be like $3 more per month because it's financed over 30 years.
Right, and essentially you're becoming a cash buyer instead of a contingent buyer.
Right.
I think when sellers see a contingent buyer offer come through, a lot of them just want to wait. They're like, all right, well, go get your home in contract. We're going to continue taking offers. You can come back to us. And then from the negotiating side, 1.5%, call it $6,000 to $9,000 on your average Denver home. That may seem like a lot, but you're going to have a lot more negotiating power. One, becoming a cash buyer, and two, not having to write that home sale contingency.
And also think about it this way. It's like when, there's multiple bidding offers on homes, everybody's going to want to take a cash offer. Because number one, we could close this in 10 days. So if you want a 10-day close with NAF Cash, you could do that. So if it's a 10-day close and you're an all cash offer, it's very likely that you're not going to go back and forth over bidding wars and say, okay, well, we'll come in $5,000 more, $10,000 more, and it just keeps going up. So that 1.5% fee to just alleviate all of that, where you're probably going to go higher than the 1.5% from where you initially started. I mean, that's kind of the way
it makes financial sense.
Right.
Totally.
Also, to piggyback on that, I mean, as a buyer in a market that does have inventory that moves quick, you can get beat up pretty quick. You know, if you lose out on 2, 3, 4 offers, it gets to your feelings. It's hard. So So I mean, yeah, it's a great program. I think in 2024 it's going to be huge.
I mean, conversely, not with just the bidding war situations. I have a lot of buyers right now. There is more and more inventory coming on now in December 2023.
Right.
That will probably flip January, February 2024. But right now, a lot of sellers are saying, all right, we want to know that we've got eggs in our basket, meaning we don't have contingent offers if we're going to accept something.
Yep.
And some of those buyers in different markets, they are becoming a lot more negotiable. So if we're writing a cash offer, frankly, we might be able to get 3-4% off the purchase price.
Exactly.
Whereas in that situation, 1.5% seems like nothing if we're really able to negotiate hard on the buy side.
Yep.
Exactly.
You're
And then
exactly
just like to go off of what we were talking about, like, yes, there is a rent back, but think about if you have a contingent home, you know, you would have to, and for some reason your offer did get accepted, you would have to pay the mortgage on your contingent home until it's sold and the mortgage on the new home.
Right.
To whereas with NAF cash, yes, you could move into your new home right away and you do have to pay mortgage, but it's not at the same time. So when that house sells, you know, and you could buy back that new house, all of that's due all at once. So you're not paying two at the same time. So
Yeah.
it alleviates a lot of stress and financial, obligations there as well.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Well, thank you so much for coming in today. If you have any more questions, definitely reach out to Sarah and Shay with S&S Mortgage or Matt and Dave with the Cobb Home Team. We'd love to be a resource for all of you.
All right. Talk soon.